report from Auditor-General John Ryan has sharply criticised Oranga Tamariki for what he claims are poor decision-making in managing its $500 million in contracts with social service providers. He claims the agency made funding and procurement decisions without fully understanding or considering the impact on children and their families. The report also highlighted a failure to access the consequences of funding cuts, poor documentation of decisions, and inadequate communication with providers. One major change saw Oranga Tamariki reclaim unspent funding from providers. That was a shift from its previous policy of allowing unused funds to be redirected to higher demand services. The agency also slashed $60 million from its service budget and conducted a top-down contract review, which the Auditor-General claims with little input from regional staff. Now, OT's acting chief executive Andrew Bridgman has accepted the findings and said significant reforms are already in motion, including stronger governance, improved contract management, and a new commission framework to avoid similar mistakes in the future. The Minister for Children is Chhour, and she joins me now. Karen, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Leah. How are you?
I'm great. Always good to talk. The Auditor-General's report is pretty scathing. What's your first reaction? What was your first reaction when you read it?
Oh, look, I really appreciate the feedback that's come from the Auditor-General. Most of it I was already aware of myself. And what I need to make clear is that the Auditor-General's report does point out a lot of issues, but it also was looking at the previous government and what was happening with these contract changes. This is a historical problem of us not knowing the impacts and the outcomes for our children, which was the reason why I called for the review in the first place. And this just proves to me and myself that the review was necessary. And I acknowledge the process has been tough on some providers. But unfortunately, we could continue down the road we were before and not ask the questions of what is this money being spent on, what outcomes are being achieved with this money that we're contracting out to community, and making sure that the children is the focus when it comes to how we're spending our money. So it just proves my point that the organisation did not know what outcomes were coming from this money. And when I asked for a review to happen, we found that many contracts did not have outcome focuses. They had output focuses, and we kept putting more and more money into some of these services, and we weren't seeing the results. So whilst this, I do agree, and I appreciate that providers could have been communicated with better, it did put some light on the fact that the agency did not have systems in place to allow to look at outcomes and what are the outcomes for our children. And that's what's important here. And this review has really put some light to the fact that that was not happening.
Karen, you've always been clear this isn't about cutting support, but about getting the right services to the right people, which you've just been talking about. You've also acknowledged that some providers were left without clarity. What's being done now to give them more certainty and confidence moving forward?
Like I said, we didn't wait for the Auditor-General's report to tell us what we already knew. So now we have a Deputy Chief Executive who is solely focused on contracting, and they'll be undertaking a plan to put a proper framework in place around how we procure contracts and how we look at our contracts, because that system was not in place, and that was made very apparent when the review happened. I want to make sure going forward that we work better with community organisations, and we've also got a good communication plan in place for when we are looking at contracts and how we're contracting. Look, we can't just keep throwing more money at this problem. We have to make sure that when we're contracting, that we're making the right decisions and putting the money in the right place. And this may change at times. Things do change when we look at what services we're providing. One example is around teen pregnancies. Teen pregnancies used to be at an all-time high, and so we put a lot of money into those services. But now that teen pregnancies have lowered, do we need to be putting as much money in as we had been? Or do we need to look at where we're focusing and where the teen pregnancies are a big issue still. So this is what it's all about. In regards to clawing back money, that was always in contracts. It was always that the ability to claw back, but unfortunately those tough decisions never got made previously, and money was sitting around that could have been going to our young people. It is the right thing to do. If you don't spend it, give it back so that we can put it towards our children.
Karen, I saw that some providers say that there are now regions that are completely without any support. Do you agree with that statement?
What I've found interesting going around the country is how siloed some areas are. I've been in rooms where small towns where different organisations have never even met each other. So my goal now is to make sure that communities and organisations are less siloed, that they know what's going on in their area and they know what services are available in the area also, because often someone might say to me, I'm the only one doing this, and then they might find out that actually there's 2 or 3 actually doing it right round the corner, but they just never knew.
This is a complex system to fix, Karen. I mean, gosh, you know that. Are you getting the support you need across government to keep momentum going?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the announcement around the social investment agency and the money that's going to be put into that social investment agency just reinforces how serious we are taking this. But we're not going to continue siloing agencies. This is an across government approach. Oranga Tamariki, I keep saying, is not the be-all and end-all to fix all issues when it comes to children. Oranga Tamariki's core focus is those who come to their attention and who come into their care. And the other agencies also have a role to play when it comes to our children. So it's about working together and making sure that the resources are coming from the right places.
Can we just quickly talk about that social investments announcement that Nicola Willis has recently done? She's allocating, am I right, 45 million for parenting initiatives and state care prevention programs. So, I mean, that's all part of it too, isn't it?
Absolutely. Prevention is absolutely where the focus needs to be. Louise Upston has always been very clear around her passion for the first 1,000 days of a young person's life, making sure that we actually are setting up a good foundation for our kids at the very beginning makes a massive difference moving forward.
And finally, Karen, despite all these challenges, do you feel that Oranga Tamariki is genuinely on a better path now for the kids who need it most?